What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video, and make sure you leave a comment. Again, just want to thank everybody for being a part of, getting the 25,000 subscribers. Definitely appreciate everybody. Keep pumping it, keep pushing it. We're going to do some more great things where we help people, I promise you that. Hope everybody liked the AB video. Some people, the brand, Mr. Gunn, Jimmy Gunn was part of the Aryan Brotherhood California brand. Got out of prison, went to California. You can kind of tell what he was doing when he went there. Ended up back in prison on that violation. Eventually, he ends up thrown off a bridge. Over $300. Crazy, isn't it? $300, man. You get robbed for $300 and thrown off a bridge. But we'll probably bring him on for a part 2 if you guys want to see it. People that want to see the actual pictures for the thumbnail, when he's in a picture with Big Mark. And who was it? Was it Puppet in the picture? I forgot who it was in the picture with him, but I could probably post that up on the community. But today we're going to do some reading. You guys like when we read the book. If you don't have a copy of the book, you can definitely get one from us at freedomfighterspc@gmail.com. I sell the book's autographed copy, personalized message for $25. That includes the postage, everything. But if you don't have it, Blood on the Razor Wire, go ahead and get it. You can get it from Amazon. If you have a loved one in prison, we can't send it directly, so you would have to get those ones from Amazon. And, for personal copies for all of you, Amazon can't sign them for us, so get them from us. So we're going to get started with a couple chapters today, and then we'll discuss them, we'll talk about them. We'll talk about Big Sandy, as we always do. Chapter 27. 6 days later, Steve, Adam, and Dennis are back without Ronnie Tough Guy Wilson. When the warden went to talk to Ronnie, he was belligerent. He told the warden to go screw his mother. To celebrate their return, Adam is cooking us a meal. Rice, summer sausage, pepperoni, refried beans with cold sodas. Because of his generosity, we skipped the mess hall and gather in Steve's cell for a small meeting among the top convicts in the car. A meeting of some sort is scheduled with the warden, Steve, Adam, and the same captain who told me to get a knife. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has been shipping Serranos to Big Sandy by the busload. There have been issues with cells, leaving the Hispanic gang members with no cells to call their own. The aim of this meeting is to have the cars relinquish a cell or two in each unit. If the shot callers refuse, the warden will simply lock the bosses up and ship them to new prisons. Steve promises that if the warden gets out of line, he's going to commit some sort of violence. It goes in one ear, out the other. False bravado to make the soldiers think Steve is their prison god. When things got real a few days ago, he cuffed up and took the easy way out. At the meeting, he will take the same course of action, I am sure. Adam's decisions are more rash, void of any thoughtful calculations or consideration of consequences. Anything is possible with Adam. Living in a cell with Adam is dangerous for me, but it's Big Sandy. Everything is dangerous here. The morning comes and goes with no trouble. As I anticipated, Steve is nothing more than talk. I am getting the sense that the gang members think Steve is phony as well. Watching my own back is my priority. I can no longer count on Frank. He is dancing the fiddler's dance to Steve's every tune. Leo, a new Boston guy, has arrived with troubles from his past. Leo was half black, half white, with the word Skinhead tattooed on his head. He is running with our car, which, like most things here, confuses me. Upon his arrival, he spotted a black Boston guy that he once had beef with back in the county jail. Leo wants to book the guy, stab him. Because of his old beef, we are summoned to the yard to hold Leo down. Steve has embraced Leo as a Boston brother given his defection from gang life. Given how bright the sun shines, I lift my sunglasses to make sure what I am seeing is real. Leo, knife in hand, is chasing the black prisoner through the yard. If I can so easily see this, I wonder how the cops cannot. Maybe they don't want to see it, like a lot of things that get ignored here. The black kid is running like a wild jackrabbit. He zigzags, trying to get away from Leo. The kid's offense happened 4 years ago. He told Leo to go fuck himself and his white mother. Both men were in the shoe, separated by steel doors. Leo feels this infraction deserves a good stabbing. No thought goes into what the repercussions will be for the whites if he stabs a black convict. Standing in the middle of the yard, unarmed, I have no clue what will happen if Leo catches his target. But I am ready to protect myself if I have to. Except for a few of us, Leo and the jackrabbit, no one seems to know what is going on. Why the jackrabbit has not looked to his people for refuge bewilders me. Steve intervenes. He calls Leo over to our circle. It is obvious he cannot catch the young jackrabbit. Steve explains that this whole thing is foolish. Steve has picked up some intelligence somewhere. This surprises me. He proposes a solution whereby the two of them approach the Black Boston shot caller to set up a one-on-one duel. Leo insists on a knife fight. I get the feeling that Leo does not want to settle his dispute with old-fashioned fisticuffs. Rumor is he got knocked out at USP Lee by a country boy named Coon, which resulted in his transfer here. His protest triggers Adam's anger. In another thoughtless decision, Adam tells me and Frank that if Leo does not listen, he's going to kill him. Armed with this bone crusher, I know Adam is not faking. He will do exactly what he has promised without so much as a blink of an eye. Leo finally realizes that the knuckling up is his only real option if the blacks will agree. The jackrabbit's name is Anthony. He's not looking for a fight, but his shot caller insists he has to square off. The two combatants meet in the middle of the yard where wild punches between the two men are exchanged. More misses than connections before the PA system squawks to life. The instructions I have come accustomed to blare from the speakers. Instinctively, I go to the ground on one knee. The first of two gunshot blasts echoes off the concrete. Warning shots. Within minutes of the first punch, both cons are tackled to the ground, cuffed, and led off to the shoe. No one leaves this fight victorious on the judges' cards. Neither the combatants were good with their hands. The House of Hard Knocks has a lot of men who do not know how to fight with their bare knuckles. With little to no skills, the same men have no reservations about stabbing others. No one wants to be on the losing end of a prison fight. Sticking someone with steel is the equalizer. Weapons give cons confidence here at Big Sandy. Not much of a fighter, Leo wanted this to be a knife fight. After watching the carnival boxing contest, I know why that was his first choice. Living conditions with Adam have improved dramatically. I have learnt the skill of dealing with him. There's a mutual respect being formed between him and I. Adam is not half as bad as I thought, although I know now that he is slightly crazy. Like most of us, Adam came in young with a severe sentence. He has a 14-year sentence in the federal system, with another 20-year term in New York when his federal sentence is complete. Sadly, some people break under the pressure of sentences as draconian as these. Living with Adam, it is clear, sadly, again, that he has given up on life outside of prison. Prison is his life. It is all that matters. Not long after the Leo incident, we ended up with a new guy from Texas who wants to be in our car. Preston came from another prison, and like us, he despises the white gang members. In only a few weeks, Adam and Preston form a close friendship. Both prisoners like getting drunk. They have also been indulging in heroin, the forbidden fruit. Preston has no bunkmate, so when the two get a batch of wine done, Adam sleeps over at Preston's house. They drink, argue, and wrestle all night long, as if they are teenagers all over again. Sleepovers in prison? Sometimes I have no idea where I am. Hanging out with Preston has precipitated Adam's downward spiral. Drinking coupled with heroin use has become part of his daily calendar. It consumes his lonely existence. It's his way of escaping the demons that haunt us, always reminding us that this is our home. We are not here just for a year or two. We are here for the best parts of our life, maybe forever. As his life spirals out of control, my focus remains on my own legal appeal. Adam lost all his appeals long ago. As he has told me many times, once I lose all my legal remedies, I will accept my fate. He does not know what I know. Losing is not an option for me. I will never stop fighting for my freedom. The car was growing like a well-fed baby. What once began as a Boston, New York car has slowly morphed into an all-around white, independent car as Steve is taking in more numbers from all over the United States. Strength comes in numbers. Steve likes strength. One of his newest members is Chuck from North Carolina. With Adam's help, Steve is laying a scam down on Chuck. Steve instructs Chuck to have his family send $400 to another prisoner's family, ostensibly to purchase heroin. The way Chuck thinks it works is Chuck will get 20 individual papers of heroin that he can sell at 5 prison books of stamps apiece. In reality, Steve is getting 1 gram of heroin for Chuck's money. With 1 gram, he makes 45 papers, gives Chuck his 20, and pockets the rest. Their main goal is to hook their fish, get him to develop a habit of his own, so that they can slowly milk him for everything he has. It's easy to despise this false brotherhood the more it becomes evident that the top dogs are doing exactly what they say the gang members are doing. I'm being led by men who scam their own people. Everyone in the car is disposable, but Steve, even Adam. No matter your position, when Stevie decides to throw you into the ocean with the sharks, he will. No matter what United States penitentiary you are in, every car operates this way. Only the strong survive. Sometimes even the strong get chewed up, swallowed, and regurgitated. Trying to make it out of prison is a 24-hour, 7 days a week job. Not only must you be physically strong, you need mental strength beyond comprehension. You have to be intelligent enough to decipher everything that is going on in the environment. If you don't possess these skills, at some point, you become shark bait. Simple. The white gang members have been building courage fueled by anger. The Aryan Resistance Militia, armed gang leaders, have called for a meeting with Steve and Adam. We have over 100 men from our car stationed on the yard, at the ready if anything goes wrong. The men are doing what we call politicking. To me, it is more like bickering. Deep inside, I'm hoping that something breaks out between us and the armed guys. If it does, that's my ticket out of here. My chance for a new start somewhere else. It would be a blessing to get away from Steve. I have 2 bocce balls at my feet that I won't hesitate to throw. Perhaps I can hit Steve and claim it was an accident. The thought makes me the only man smiling on the yard. AJ, the leader of ARM, has voiced his displeasure with the fact that Steve is talking all the white independents into his fold as soon as they arrive. In a respectful way, he claims we are taking in lames and giving them protection. Lames are guys who are nobodies, guys who under normal circumstances would be scared of their own shadow. Lacking backup, the lames are perfect prey for gangs to steal from, to oppress. They want the lame swimming alone in these rough waters with the piranhas. Steve stands strong, courage unwavering with our support behind him. Forcefully, he makes it clear that this is our yard, that we are going to do what we want, when we want. Always ready for violence, Adam makes it known that the ball is in their court. All they have to do is make a move. I am in earshot. I hear the exchanges. My guess is ARM came to this meeting ready to spark a clash. Once again, our members have stolen the day. Outmaneuvered and overwhelmed, they have tucked their tails, swallowed their pride, forced to abandon whatever plan they may have had. For a fleeting moment, I think about chucking one of the bocce balls at a gang leader to set off a melee. I'm disappointed nothing physical transpired. This was my one-way ticket out of humanity's sick joke, USP Big Sandy. I am here with my pent-up anger and my clenched fist. The longer he waits to pull the trigger, the more danger Steve puts us all in. If the numbers turn, unlike us, the gang members will not hesitate to inflict punishment. They may even get tired of being backed into a corner with only one way out. They might not wait to get their numbers up. They might decide instead that the only way to win is to attack 2 or 3 of us when we are separated from the group. As much as I hate Steve, my hatred for white gangs is stronger. It is a learned behavior that has been embedded in me. Prison has finally taken its toll on me. I too am broken. Not all the way, but close. The cold-heartedness of this life is biting at my soul. Slowly, I calcify. Like others, I want to lash out, to hurt the convicts who really want to hurt me. Will their blood bring me peace? These hostile thoughts are born, bred in prison. For some men, they grow slowly, faster for others. Over time, prison will destroy a person morally, mentally, and emotionally. I am experiencing this very thing. I am screaming out from the inside. It's hard for me to fathom how people with grotesque sentences, no family, and nothing to look forward to continue to live day by day in this prison life. Some commit suicide to escape the torment. Others push forward, somehow, some way. Maybe Adam is right. If I lose my appeals, I might accept prison as my fate. But accepting prison will be the day that I transform into an uncompromising beast. Losing your appeals is the end of the road. Once that is lost, there's nothing left to lose. At that point, I have lost everything making prison my forever home. Silently, I pray I never cross that road. The night sky is moving in as we walk back into the building. I look up at the clouds. The same ones from a few months ago. Before I step into the doorway, he is darker this time, no longer laughing at me. He chuckles instead. I scowl back and throw 2 middle fingers toward the clouds, prompting Adam to laugh. "What the hell you doing, Chad?" Adam asks. "Man, just saying goodnight to the man," I reply. Adam has no idea about the guy in the clouds. Only I can see him. Chapter 28. The night is still young. When we make it to our dorm, wine is flowing freely. People in the car indulge, kind of celebrating. Steve letting the gang members know who's boss. When the devil's drink is in abundance, he seems to show up to pour the wine himself and mixes violence in. Dave, a lame from Rhode Island, has had too much to drink. He is standing on the top tier of our housing unit, blatantly calling people niggers. His drunkenness has clouded his rational thinking. Dave is oblivious to the fact that he has just signed a contract authorizing a brutal assault on his person. Throwing blatant racial epithets at unsuspecting victims jeopardizes everyone's safety. The problem must be dealt with immediately. Black prisoners are looking up at Dave, fangs dripping saliva, thirsty for fresh meat. The blacks respect Adam. Even without words being said, they know punishment is coming. Steve quickly ushers Dave into his cell, soothing him with kind words to calm him down in his drunken stupor. He does not recognize Steve's boiling anger or what his impending future holds. After small talk between Steve and Adam, they call Frank, me, and another guy, Coffee, into Dennis's cell. Listen, I need you three. You guys are on deck. It's time now. Frank responds, what do you want us to do? You can stab him or lock him. It's up to you guys. But you gotta fuck him up. If not, we're gonna have a race riot in here. I speak immediately to head off any dumb assertions that we should stab Dave. I'm not stabbing him, Adam. I'll just go in there and knock his ass out, I say. Coffee, like me, doesn't want to be involved in stabbing anyone. He nods his head. He has to get smashed. These blacks want to see blood, Adam responds. Not a problem, bro. We got it, Coffee exclaims in an excited voice. Steve wants an example set, so when the CO walks out for the recreation move, go in there and get that son of a bitch. All right, I respond. Frank and Jimmy are going to hold the door. Keep him in his room until then. Chad, you and Coffee are going in. Frank, you're the backup, kid. The plan is laid out. My nerves are jumping. I am anxious to unleash the fury bottled up inside me. Pacing back and forth, I wait for the recreation call. My black leather workout gloves slide over my hands. Dave is a dope fiend. Like so many others, he intravenously injects the poison. I want to avoid his blood getting on my hands. Recreation move, let's go, the guard yells as he exits the unit. My arms are instantly heavy. My heart races, and my palms begin to sweat under the leather. Coffee follows behind me as we enter Dave's chamber. Dave, my friend, what's up with your language? You know the nigger word, I yell. Man, fuck them nig. Before he can finish the word, I hit him dead center in his mouth. Blood gushes from his busted lips, and he stumbles backward into the lockers with a loud, oh. I unleash a fury of punches until he falls to the floor. Coffee is kicking Dave in the face. I hold Dave on the ground with one hand while punching him in the back and the ribs with the other. Screams for help. Cannot save him. Stop, I'm sorry, that's it, that's enough, he cries out. No, this is what you wanted when you were calling people niggers, punk, I howl out as one punch after another connects. Don't kill me, bro, I got kids, man. Fuck you and your kids, Coffee barks back. Sometime later, I come out of my anger trance, chest heaving, breath strained. I give Coffee the look. Dave has had enough. Blood is on my shirt, gloves, and on the locker. With one hand on the locker, Dave lifts himself from the cold floor. His face is a bloody mess. Get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. You could have got us all killed, I say, before spitting in his face. Frank and Jimmy step aside as Dave escapes, running full force toward the guard's office. Handing my gloves to Jimmy, my eyes connect with Steve's from across the room. He gives me a wink and a nod, as if he is praising me for a job well done. Little does he know that given the opportunity, he would be punished in the same way, perhaps worse. The assault on Dave was done simply to avoid the white prisoners from being massacred by the blacks. The bone I would like to pick with Steve is personal, motivated by what he is doing to all of us. Hiding my true feelings, I nod back. Once at the bottom of the stairs, Dave stops to look up at us. He screams out in anger, "Look at what you did to me, you white bitches! Look at me!" He shouts this with defeat and shame in his voice. He looks like Roberto Duran in the No Mas fight with Sugar Ray Leonard. One eye swollen shut, lips busted, his face decorated with speed knots, and his broken nose dripping like a faucet. He starts to yell out again. Frank appears out of nowhere and delivers a football kick to Dave's ass. As the guard exits his office, Dave begins to run. Frank latches onto his shirt, striking him in the back. By now, the deuces are hit. In comes the goon squad to pin Frank to the wall. Once pinned down, the cops cuff him and haul him off to shoot. He had to take one for the team. Sometimes being the backup guy costs more. When Dave started yelling, Adam gave Frank the order to attack. That cost him a few days in the chute. In this hellhole, that's a small price to pay for the good of the car. We are locked in our cells for body searches. The cops go from cell to cell requiring everyone to take their shirts off. They're searching for marks, stab wounds, or scratches. Any wounds on a person gives guards the authority to put people in the shoe for an investigation. We have already flushed my blood-stained shirt down the toilet. I look out the window to see Coffee being led away in cuffs. He failed the body inspection test. Dave scratched Coffee's arm in the scuffle. Adam, am I straight? Do I got any marks? I ask, hoping the answer is no. Take your shirt off, you scary motherfucker. I ain't scared, just not trying to go to the chute. You're good. Your hand is a little bit swollen. Just flip your hands over quick. I'll start talking to the cops to get their attention on me. Off your hands. Luck has found me. We are checked. I slide through the inspection. Adam engages the inspectors in conversation. At about 6'4", 275 pounds, Adam's presence alone grabs people's attention. I will not be joining Frank and Coffee this evening. In a sick way, it felt good to finally release my pent-up anger. Putting work in for a car I dislike so much fuels my disgust. Reasoning with myself, I conclude it was okay to do this to avoid any racial tension. My safe existence means I must go through the motions. The reality is we prisoners are dropped into a ready-made, built-in dynamic that leads to hatred for the people around us. Rather than coming together for good, we alienate each other, all while pretending we have a brotherhood in place. After the roundup, they unlock our doors again. Pats on the back for a job well done come in droves. Praise from guys in the car as well as from some of the black convicts. In a normal society, it would be abnormal to be applauded for such brutality. In prison, these actions are worthy of praise. Like a chameleon, I am blending in with the rest of the fakers. I am transforming into one of them, a cold-hearted prisoner. My subconscious mind is telling me not to succumb to my environment, but I am knocking on the door while fighting the beast, the prison beast that destroys young men like me. But really, my eyes are set on Steve. 29. Blowing up like you thought I would. Call the crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. I sing my old school theme song while I add baking soda to the Pyrex. Like a chemist, I turn powder into crack. And like a magician, crack into cash. Who would have ever thought I would be using a microwave to concoct my new nefarious product? Why you always singing that same shit, my best friend E asked. Because I like it, dawg. That shit's old, son. Man, do you think I care? I say, pulling the Pyrex from the microwave. I drop ice cubes in the boiling water. The cocaine hardens into crack. I don't like this next part. Bagging up the product for street sales. With 4 crack houses pumping high volume, I know me and E will be at the table for hours. Look, you put the bags together, E. I'll bag up the 8 balls. Must be nice to be the boss, he says sarcastically. Like scores of drug addicts, I have become addicted to the life, the power that comes with being, as E puts it, the boss. We were doomed before we were born, relegated to parents who are lifelong ghost town residents, never realizing that my surroundings would dictate my future. Violence, poverty, abuse, and addiction, all too much to overcome. Each bag I fill with crack might as well be a day in prison. I have filled many bags, never thinking about Big Sandy. Hell, I never even heard of the place. How could I think about it? Fate knows Big Sandy. Chad does not. One day I will. Blowing up like you thought I would. You singing the same line, dog. Yeah, because we're blowing up, E. Sit back, relax. We counting double-digit thousand stacks. E laughs at me when we finish packing our neighborhood's desires. Chapter 30. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has banned all pornographic material. With pornography expelled, a new phenomenon has erupted behind these walls. Men have been masturbating while looking at fully clothed female staff. At times, they will pull their penis out of their pants and stroke it in front of women with no shame. Prisoners call this gunning. Guys will stand in a classroom window or sit at a desk pleasuring themselves while a female teacher teaches the GED. Some resort to wilder but more discreet antics. They tie a piece of dental floss to their toe and the other end to their penis. All they have to do is bounce the tied foot up and down as if tapping to any old tune, all while lusting in their mind. No woman is off limits to the gunner. Looks, age, nothing matters. They have no concern that this person is someone's mother, sister, or daughter. Not even grandmothers are off limits to these sexually deviant men. While most women do not invite these shameful sins, some do. It is rumored that one case manager, Miss C, will catch men masturbating in the shoe through the small glass windows on the cell doors. The Mill says sometimes she licks her lips, sometimes she smiles, sometimes she comments, egging the gunners on until they ejaculate. There's one famous gunner known to all as the DC Sniper. As indicated by his moniker, he is from Washington, D.C. The second part comes from his actions. He stands in the window of his cell looking out on the walkway, masturbating, while looking at female staff members 20 yards away. White collars do not allow gunners on the yard, at least not white ones. Committing these violations invites detrimental consequences. If you're white and you jack off to women, your punishment is like a mandatory minimum. Stabbing. That's your mandatory penalty. No cop-outs, no plea offers, you do not pass go, you do not collect $200. Instead, these sex offenders go straight to either the hospital or the cemetery. The Serenos operate under the same rules. If you have ever been sanctioned for gunning at another prison, Big Sandy issues the offender a yellow card. It means the prisoner is a high accountability convict. Everywhere he goes, he must turn his card into the staff member overseeing the area. Each hour on the hour, the prisoner must report to the staff member. For a Hispanic or a white prisoner walking on this compound with a yellow gunner card is equivalent of greeting someone by saying, "Hello, I'm Sancho, the rapist." Today, the Serenos attacked one of their own. There were allegations that he was gunning a nurse down at the infirmary. After a short investigation, he was stabbed over 10 times. It amazes me that even being aware of the consequences in advance, people still head down that unforbidden road. Some urge causes them to try their hand. Finding more and more that I have nothing in common with the guys in the car, I have been trying to spend as little time as possible around them. With my appeal pending, my days are being spent in the law library researching the law. Occasionally I visit the leisure library where I can watch National Geographic movies. People who are looking for trouble rarely look for it in the education department. This is my new place of refuge. My priority is learning the law. No one is going to fight for my life like I will. No lawyers, for sure. Making it to a lower security prison with less violence is my goal now. Being in this car is going to complicate that objective. Today, my insides are quaking with glee. I laugh at Steve. I've long rid myself of the facade that he is a viper. Chuck took a detour to the lieutenant's office today, and that left Steve the snake swim ring. Steve had $1,000 worth of heroin given to him on consignment. Chuck promised to send the money today. But now, like David Copperfield, he disappeared with half of the product. After months of being used, Chuck figured things out and paid them back for their usury. Steve is in turmoil. He doesn't have family support on the outside. There's no one to reach out to for $1,000. Chuck's great escape has turned their smiles upside down. Like an angry child, he is throwing things around in his cell. I sit in my plastic chair looking normal on the outside while laughing on the inside. Their scheme has finally nipped them back. It ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun. Ready to explode myself, I make a choice. I can no longer handle this prison. I decide that I'm going to leave soon. Deciding Steve is my ticket out of prison, I begin to plot my exit. Sometimes in the morning, he is alone on the yard where he does yoga. With all his crazy poses, there is not a day where he is not standing on his head. I decide this will be the perfect time to walk up and kick him in the face. When the time is right, I will punch my ticket. Steve is going to pay. I know that I cannot allow my anger to surpass my intelligence. I must make my move in silence. No one can know. Smiling in Steve's face, I play his game while I hold on to a burning passion to brutalize him. It isn't easy. My own life depends on being smart and on leaving this unforgiving prison. I have to start over, reinvent myself at a new prison. Our car is spiraling out of control with a madman driving. More and more often, Steve rampages go unchecked. Mission after mission, he sends people to assault others for no real reason. Biding my time, I wait for the opportunity to lash out at Steve. He has gained his power through persuasion, intimidation, and playing off lonely men's fears of prison. I do not fear him. Neither do I respect him. He has convinced himself that he has supernatural abilities. Shamefully, for a brief time, I too fell under the persuasion. His tough guy stories about knowing Whitey Bulger when he grew up in Southie. My stupidity makes me even angrier. The explosion is coming. Not just for me, but for all of us. And like I always say, the book really focuses on Big Sandy, man. It focuses on what life is like in the United States Penitentiary. And I tell you all the time that it's not a life that you want to live, man, because it does. It chews you up. It'll chew you up and spit you out. It'll destroy you in some kind of way. You might be destroyed by getting stabbed. You might be destroyed by stabbing someone and ending up with a new bid. You might be destroyed from PTSD mentally. And you know, that's where I finally came to that point where I just wanted to scream, man. Where I just wanted to lash out. And you know, when Dave did what he did, that was the opportunity. And I didn't think about the consequences. I didn't think when we went in the cell that, you know, it was possible that we could beat him to death. I thought, man, I don't want to stab this dude. And I made it clear that I didn't want to stab him. But, you know, in your young mind, you think, well, you know, as long as I don't stab him, I won't kill him. And, you know, years later, I had seen people beat to death in prison. There was a guy in Pollock that ate his bag lunch, and they beat him to death, man, and he died, and he was going home soon. Told everybody, don't eat your bag lunch. Guy had no food. He accepted his food the second day of the lockdown and ate it, and they came out and killed him. And in your mind, you should probably be thinking, well, shouldn't someone have sent him a soup, sent him some food? He didn't have any food. He was hungry. You know, so people can die. You can beat people to death. And people have been beat to death in prison, in federal prison. And I think being beat to death, man, if you don't know what it's like to be locked in a cell, you get put in this cell, man, and there's no way out. There's two guys holding the door closed. They're standing there. One guy's got his foot on it. The other guy's got his back. The cops don't hear nothing. They go out on the move, and you're all alone, man. For 5 minutes, you're all alone in a mausoleum. Where, you know, one guy commented today, and it made me think about prison, where he said, hey, man, that locker, that bed, that wall, it hits harder than anybody in the prison. When you bounce someone's head off the wall or off that bed or off that desk, it hits a whole lot harder than getting punched in the face. And the crazy part is you can bounce someone's head off there and end up with a life sentence because the guy died. And they charge you now in the Fed. They will take your ass to court. They will take your ass to court. And my anger was fueled more and more each day because I felt like I had a junkie, a dope fiend telling me what to do in prison. And I felt like I was always a leader in the street. And now I come in here and this guy has manipulated these people that will do anything for him. You know, he was able to trick them. People are so easily persuaded in prison too. You think all these dudes are gangsters, they go in there. You'd be surprised how many dudes are just, it's just like, wow. I've seen the Sereno, I've seen one of the Black Hands slap a dude in the face. And the dude said, what'd I do, big homie? What'd I do? And you're like, wow. And it's crazy because I seen that. And then I seen a cop get slapped by a prisoner. My first day in Big Sandy, I think it was my first day. And he asked the prisoner, what did I do? Man, people were in there walking around scared, man. And then we talked about Leo. Talked about Leo Felton, right? Leo was a skinhead. He was mixed black and white, but he was a skinhead. And when he gets there, him and this dude got a beef. And that's the other thing, man. You might be beefing with a dude in Boston in the county jail, like they were. And you don't see this dude. You tell the dude, man, fuck you, man. When I see you, it's on, right? And you might be selling some wolf tickets. And for those of you that don't know what wolf tickets is, man, you're woofing, man. You're faking. And then eventually you run into this dude 4 or 5 years later in federal prison. And now he's an animal. Now he's not the same Ricky Fackrell from the county jail. Now he's a killer. And you run into this dude and he's like, look, man, remember what you said on the door? I got a knife now. What's up? And this dude was chasing this black dude around the yard. And I'm thinking in my head, like, are you serious right now? Are you for real? You're chasing this dude and no one's like on this thing? And when Adam told me and Frank, you could see the death in his eyes. They're trying to tell Leo, yo, man, relax. You're going to jeopardize all of us. And Adam tells me, he says, I'm going to kill him. And I'm like, oh, hell no. But you know what? I felt like now when I think back on it, and it's like I can see his face all over again, kind of like how I seen, you know, Jesus Christ in the clouds. And I know that Adam meant what he said, that if he didn't stop, he was going to kill him. And they would have walked him, man. That's the other thing they'll do to you in federal prison. They'll walk you, man. What do you mean by walk, Chad? What I mean is that they'll have you believing, man, that, hey, man, let me holler at you real quick. Don't trip, bro. We got another way. We're going to get this dude. We're going to stab him. And Steve might be talking to Leo, and Adam comes right behind him and hits him in the neck. You think, man, these dudes are on your side. They're smiling in your face. And yet, someone's sneaking up behind your back to kill you. The same people that you're supposed to be all right with. Your homeboys. The people that you're going to live with. The people that you're going to rock with. I mean, another example, and I don't want to keep talking about the same story, but Ricky Fackrell and Kramer. They're dudes, man. They killed their own guy. The same guy they were eating with just a month before. Part of their gang. They kill him, man. Viciously kill him, too. He's screaming for help, man. Don't do it, man. That's enough. And yet they continue to go. And that's the prison machine, right? We talk about the prison machine. What do you mean by chewing you up and spitting you out? They chewed him up, and he asked for mercy, and he got none. So that's enough, man. What do you think was going through his head? You think he thought about his mom? When he was laying there saying, hey, man, please, man, it's enough, man. I'm getting stabbed. That's it. I think he thought about it. Maybe he had kids. Think, what was his last vision that went through his mind before he died? Was it his son? Did he have all his regrets? Did they all play like a movie in his head? All the regrets he has in life? All the mistakes that he made? And then he takes his last breath? Could easily be you, man. Could easily be you. You could be laying in a cell, and I got the pictures. I sent them to numerous people. And you see the nurse there with like cords in the machine, I think, trying to zap him back to life. Blood everywhere, all over his face. This is federal prison. This isn't the federal prison that you heard about where people are playing tennis and eating steaks and no. This is the gladiator pits, man. Go back and watch some of them movies like Braveheart. This is a gladiator pit. And every day you wake up, you're like, fuck, man, I'm still here, man. You're like, wow, man, this is not the life that I want to live. But you're living it, man. You're living it. You wake up angry. I can tell you from personal experience because I was there. I can tell you from personal experience because I felt those emotions. I can tell you that there were days when I wanted to give up. I can tell you there were days where I thought about killing someone, man. Straight up. There were days where I was like, man, I should just kill this dude, man, and go to the ADX. And just throw my life away. Because I don't even know how to explain it in words. You're so tired. You're so angry. You're so ready to give up. You're so tired of, living this life the way that you're living it. And there's plenty of dudes that feel that way and they ain't got the balls to kill themselves. So they say, fuck it, I'm going to kill this dude. And I'm going to get away from these people and go to the ADX. I've seen this old man stab this young dude in the neck. And I've seen him in the hole years later, not years later, but months later, like, why'd you do that, bro? That kid was getting ready to go home. He said, man, I got hepatitis. They're not going to give me the interferon. I just want to go watch American Idol on my own TV until I die. And I was like, what? Are you serious? You just stabbed this white kid in the neck. You're an old white man. Washed the fuck up. Life's over. Did life on the installment plan. And you stabbed this other dude in the neck and so you can go watch television? Think about that. You ain't done nothing wrong. And somebody will just walk up and stab you in the neck while you're watching TV. That's why I always sat with my back to the wall. Always, man. I do it now in restaurants. Prison messes you up, man. Mentally, emotionally. But what's the message, Chad? The message that is everything is subject to change in life, in prison. Everything. 1 minute you're hanging out with your homeboys. There's the message. The next minute they're trying to kill you, man. No one can be trusted. Don't throw your life away, man. I was sitting in the crack house, man, bagging up crack, thought I was the man. I was the leader. I was. I've been convicted of it. I was the leader, man. And you know what happened? My boy E I talk about, he died. He got murdered. My boy D, he got murdered. Both killed within a week from each other. We all just disappeared, man, our whole team. I get 40 years in prison, life sentence. My one homeboy goes to trial, gets found not guilty, gets found acquitted on some counts, hung jury on others, goes home, gets killed. My other partner that was part of the team, he gets killed. They're killed within a week of each other. And my other right-hand man, he's been out here all these years struggling, man. He was out here struggling for years, man. Still doing the same thing that he was doing when I left. 20 years later. In the street, hustling. Taking a chance with his life every day. And what is he worth? He's worth whatever the drugs are worth that are in his pocket. He's worth whatever time he can get if he gets caught with a gun in his waist. Get a 924C with drugs. And before we close, just this morning I'm watching the news. There's an 18-year-old kid selling drugs out of his house. They go in, they kill him, they shoot him. His homeboys, they take him out of the house and throw him out in the snow and run away when the cop sirens are coming. He's dead. His homeboys throw him out in the snow. Here you go. And they run away and he's dead. 18 years old. I mean, there's only two things that happen when you're in this life, man. For real. Prison or death. How many people retire from being a drug dealer? That's what you better think about today. Go look in the mirror, man, and know your worth. Know you're better. You're better than your homeboys carrying you out of a house because they don't want the murder to be associated with the house that they're selling drugs out of. And they just throw you in the snow pile and run away. Blood on the Razor Wire TV, man. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video. And once again, man, I appreciate all of you. We'll be back at you tomorrow with respect. Until tomorrow, we're out.